This is the show that's really going to make 49er fans like me. What's up, folks? Welcome to the new segment on the Cohn Zone called Ask a Cardinals Fan.
Yes,
First of all, if you've watched the Cohn phone, you know Level 7. He's been calling in. He's terrific. So it's nice to have a non-Niner fan on the channel. And I was thinking if it had to be any NFC West, a fan of any NFC West team, I kind of like Cardinals because I feel like a Seahawks fan or a Rams fan might be a little too triggering for a Niners fan. But like no one cares about the Cardinals other than you and about 7 other people scattered throughout the United States. You're not in Arizona. So first, how did you become an Arizona Cardinals fan? And then we'll get in the Niners.
Okay, so 2008, 2009 Super Bowl, Steelers versus Cardinals, the first Super Bowl I ever watched. For some reason, I decided that game I was rooting for the Cardinals, and we lost that game. And I've been a Cardinals fan ever since. Like, I don't know why I decided to stick with them. Like, I should have been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I just like the red and black. Red was my favorite color. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rock with the Cardinals. I've been rocking with them ever since. Been a Larry Fitz fan, and yeah, nobody likes the Dolphins. I mean, my family likes the Dolphins, but the Dolphins always suck, and they just caught me at the peak of my life. 5 years old, sitting down on the couch, watching the Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl. This is like the peak of football. You feel me? Just enjoying the moment, and it's like, okay, I'm a Cardinals fan now, and they caught me there, and I've been in hell ever since. So.
Well, what I like about a Cardinals fan is you seem pretty salty. I mean, it's not like you guys have had you're not a fair weather fan. And also It seems like you're probably going to be pretty knowledgeable about the rest of the league because frankly, there's not a lot going on with the Cardinals. Although, you know me, I'm a big Cardinals guy as well. So we'll get to the Cardinals, but let's start with Purdy's contract. It was announced on Friday, and it's always pro player when the first numbers come out, made him look like he was getting paid almost Joe Burrow money. Then the details came out yesterday, and it's kind of a year-to-year contract. From a Cardinals fan's perspective, we got your first perspective on the Cohn phone on over the weekend. It was great. But now that you've seen some details, what do you think of it now?
I still don't like it. I see a lot of people comparing it to Jalen Hurts' contract, but the difference between Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts is that Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, when he like Brock Purdy can scramble, but when Jalen Hurts scrambles, like there's actually a real threat there. Like I don't like that comparison between Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts because even when it comes to Jalen Hurts has a better arm than Brock Purdy. And it's like, okay, not even the situation, the GM, the front office, it's completely different. I know you guys think that I'm completely biased and I hate 49ers fans. I don't hate you guys. Like, I'm just looking at it objectively as I can from the perspective of a Cardinals fan, obviously. But even your GM, like, it doesn't draft as good as the Eagles. Like, the Eagles have one of the best drafting GMs in the entire league. So it's like you're not putting the same thing that you're putting around Jalen Hurts through the draft. So it's like it's not the same situation at all. So I just don't look at it as an ideal situation.
Yeah, there's one more thing. Like, you could argue that Jalen Hurts is like Brock in the sense that they're both system quarterbacks who aren't quite worth the money they're making. But like on the Eagles, behind that offensive line, a lot of quarterbacks would look good. And it seems like if you're going to make that kind of investment in a borderline quarterback, if you put him behind a great offensive line, you could feel pretty confident that you're going to get production and that he's going to be on the field. I mean, the Lions have the same thought process with Jared Goff, who is kind of in the same tier as Brock Purdy. The Niners aren't doing that, and that's kind of strange to me.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's another thing, bro. It's just like the Niners O-line. Like, I know a lot of people look at the Niners O-line and they look at Trent Williams, and it's like when it comes to the offensive line, it's a position group. It's not about one guy. It's never been about one guy, and that doesn't mean that Trent Williams is the only great guy on your team because your center is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I forgot his name. And then
Brendel.
Cole McKivitz.
Cole McKivitz. Jake Brendel.
Cole McKivitz. Jake Brendel, yeah. Jake Brendel, Cole McKivitz, they're good players. But you lost your depth. Like, you need depth at offensive line. This is not a position where you can go without depth. Like, these are guys that are on the field every single play for 17 games throughout the season. So somebody is going to get injured. It's just a matter of when. And having that and then with the Brock Purdy and then not being able to draft as good and not investing in that offensive line still, I just don't see how that benefits you guys actually having a good season.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the 49ers extended Brock because they thought it was the best option. Not necessarily they were like super excited to do it the way the Bills were excited to extend Josh Allen earlier this offseason. I think they felt it was their best option. But do you think it was their best option? I mean, they could trade it.
No. If I was the 49ers, man, like, I would have just hit a soft rebuild. Like, what would have been scary for me as a Cardinals fan, right? Even if the 49ers would have said, all right, in the third round, I'm going to take Jalen Milroe, like the Seahawks did, and said, all right, I'm gonna have Brock Purdy, and then I'm going to let Jalen Milroe sit for a year, and I'm going to develop him. All right, you don't want to draft him in the third round. That's fine. Let's wait, all right? Get Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round. Have him come in. Shedeur Sanders could have came in this year, and this is going to sound crazy. He would have ran the system just as good, if not better than Brock Purdy, in my opinion. See, I may be wrong. In my opinion, he would have ran the 49ers system just as good, and if not better as Brock Purdy, and their skill set is very similar, and Shedeur has a better arm, in my opinion. So it's just like, I don't.
But they drafted a quarterback with a torn ACL.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I know a lot of 49ers fans get in this, like, mindset when it comes to Brock Purdy. Like, he took us to an NFC championship. He took us to a Super Bowl. But so did Jimmy G. Yeah. Jimmy G took you to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's Kyle Shanahan. He's the guy. Like, put your trust in Kyle Shanahan. I don't fully buy into him as, like, he's a genius, but in terms of offensive scheme, but I don't buy into him as a culture guy. But if you're gonna buy into Kyle Shanahan, still have him on your team, then buy into him. Like, buy into him, trust in him, believe in him. Keep doing what's working until you actually find a guy that can take Kyle Shanahan's system and not just be as good as his system, but be better than the system. Because that's what it is. Brock Purdy is just the system. He's not elevating it. He's just
like if Brock Purdy were a legit top 5 quarterback, pay him. But
100%.
He knows he's not. They know he's not. And so what the Niners are doing is what, like, any average NFL franchise would do is, I mean, the Cardinals did it. They didn't really know what to do with Kyler Murray. He's good. Is he great? I don't know. We'll pay him. And you end up in this situation where it's like you're paying big time money to a quarterback who's not quite in that tier. It's a tough place to be. You've been there for a minute. Kyler has potential, but he just hasn't realized it.
That's even the difference between a Kyler Murray and a Brock Purdy. Like, when Kyler Murray plays at his best, like, Kyler Murray has, like, top 3 running legs in the division.
Correct. Then he averaged like 7.5 yards a carry last year.
That's what I'm saying. In the NFL, like, Kyler Murray, he gets out of the pocket, it's an automatic 10 yards, automatic first down. It's probably Lamar, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray when it comes to legs. Like, he gets out of the pocket, he can go all the way. Like, Brock Purdy doesn't have that ability. Kyler Murray also has the arm talent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're just paying the guy because for contentment. I feel like because he's
stability, no drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. Like,
it makes you feel good.
Yeah,
feels like we got it all under control on this side over here.
Exactly. That's why you pay Brock Purdy.
But, like, it makes you feel good until you lose week 1 to the. I'm not saying they're going to lose to the Seahawks week 1. Well, I did predict that. But if they were to lose week 1 to the Seahawks and Sam Darnold, all of a sudden you're looking at that contract like, damn.
Exactly.
And like you said, if you're all in with Kyle, and I'm not sure they're all in with Kyle, by the way, this might be the ultimatum to Kyle. Like, this is your last quarterback, make it work. But if you really believed in Kyle, isn't that the kind of coach that you could say, you know what, we're not going to spend big time money on a quarterback unless he's legitimately a future Hall of Famer. Otherwise, we're going to place our trust in Kyle. He can make it work with Mac Jones. He can make it work with Shedeur Sanders. He made it work with Brock, and that's only more proof that he can make it work with the next young quarterback. Trey Lance notwithstanding, he was an aberration who wasn't experienced.
Yeah, 100%. I just don't. It's like, I think they're just content. Like, they don't want to get better right now. Like, I don't see the 49ers. Like, I look at the other teams in the division, and even the Seahawks, like, they're willing to take a step back just to get a little bit forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the
Cardinals made some serious signings this offseason to get better.
Yeah,
Josh Sweat.
Yeah. I see the 49ers ending up in this, like, Saints era. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like
solid, but
mediocre, and like they don't like, sometimes you just gotta break it down to build it up. Like, you gotta break it down. And I don't see them being willing to really break it down. Like, I understand they got rid of Deebo Samuel, but they're not like, let's just invest in the offensive line. They invested in the defensive line last season. Believe in your guys. Like, believe in your guys and, try to develop some young talent.
But you're right, though. Like, when you say they're just kind of content, it's like they're going to say, well, everyone said we were being cheap. We spent money. Yeah, but you didn't spend money to make yourself better. You spent money to lock in certain players that you think are foundational. And that's great. But those players were on the team that went 6-11 last year.
100%.
So,
that is one of the things about like 49ers in the media that I don't understand. Like, every other team in the division got better. And when I'm looking at it, okay, if Christian McCaffrey comes back, then the 49ers will be better. But when I look at it, it's like the 49ers got worse and everybody got better. But you guys are expecting to win more games, even with the worst roster even with the worst, the least strength of schedule in the league.
Yeah.
Like, you're expecting to win more games. I just don't see it. Like, the NFL is going to get better. Like, most of the teams that were trash last year had high draft picks, so they got better. They had cap rooms, so they got better. The Panthers got better. Guys that you're expecting to play against and just roll over, everybody got better while you got worse. And
they'll be like, well, did we get better? Not yet, but we got younger and we got a little bit more cost effective and we trimmed the fat. And it's like, and our schedule's easier than last year. It's like, yeah, all of that could be true, but that doesn't mean that you got better. You still went 1-5 in your division and you still got to face those teams again.
100%.
So look, let's get into it, man. Let's compare the 49ers roster to the other NFC West rosters, like position by position. Let's break it down.
Okay. So
where do you want to start?
We can do this, or where we'll rank who we think is the top at each position. You know what I'm saying, with each position group, and then go from there. At one, I think one is easy for quarterbacks, correct? Like, it's obviously Kyler Murray. No, I'm joking. It's Matthew Stafford.
Clearly. And then you got Jimmy Garoppolo backing up. That's just an embarrassment of riches.
Exactly. Matthew Stafford comes in and Jimmy G comes in. If Matthew Stafford comes down.
Quarterback controversy? I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah.
There's no drop off there. Just
no, not at all.
Eliteness,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
So Rams won.
This is where it gets, tricky for 49ers fans.
Yeah.
For me, it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyler Murray. Like, for me, it's easy for the simple fact. All right, let me explain it like this.
Sure.
Brock Purdy gets drafted into the best situation possible as Mr. Irrelevant. The year after they come off of an NFC championship game.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray gets drafted to the worst organization in football.
Yeah.
This organization, like, I follow this organization closely. The organization has only became serious within the last 3 years. Since Monty Osborne has got here, the organization is actually serious, and you can see the development, the growth, and the maturity from Kyler Murray, and he's been getting better each year. This is really only his second season underneath these guys, because that first year he had a torn ACL. So this is the year where he can really take that leap and be possibly the best quarterback in the division. I know it's year 7. We're waiting 7 years for a leap, but it's like sometimes a guy just has to be in the right situation. Look at Sam Darnold.
Took Baker a while.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes a guy has to be in the right situation, and I think the situation is actually better right now than it ever was for
And
Kyler.
Purdy was fortunate to be drafted into the right situation.
He was. Yeah. So
and he'll say that.
Yeah. It's different for each guy. So who are you putting that to?
I'm a big Kyler Murray guy.
Okay.
I'm a big Kyler Murray guy. Okay. Now, I couldn't tell you who the backup is in Arizona, though.
Jacoby Brissett. I feel like that's a good backup.
Yeah.
In terms of backups? He's no
Who would you rather have as a backup, Jacoby Brissett or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, yeah. Mac Jones for sure.
Yeah. I do like that signing for the Niners, Mac Jones, but still, I mean, how much does the backup quarterback really factor into this ranking? I'm still going to go Cardinals 2.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Although Call of Duty, man, we got to bring up the Call of Duty factor. We can't just not talk about that. Is that real? Like, what the hell is that?
Bro, that's not it's like a I used to watch his streams too, which is crazy. Like, I used to, when I was like in high school, I used to sit down and like watch Kyler play Call of Duty and things. I feel like it was overblown. Like, all right, everybody in their downtime has something that they do. Kyler Murray, he hops on the game, maybe plays a little COD, but he's locked in. Like this offseason, like everybody, when it comes to the head coach, I've never seen it. The last two offseason, like before these last two off seasons, maybe, you know what I'm saying, the Call of Duty stuff, it was real. But I'm telling you, like right now, in terms of the media narratives and what's going around, like Kyler Murray, he just had his charity event. Like everybody says the same thing about him. He doesn't leave the facility. So if there's any year that he's going to take a jump, it will be this year. Yeah, it'll be this year.
Yeah, it's make or break for him. All right, cool. 100%. I agree with that. And then 3, to me, I feel like Darnold and Purdy are in similar tiers.
100%.
And if you put Purdy on the Vikings last year, I don't know if they would have been any better. But I will say, like, yeah. The thing about, like, Darnold clearly is bigger and has a better arm, and that's valuable. But he just has negative pocket presence. Negative pocket presence. Like, he runs into sacks, dude. Like, he's just functionally not mobile, and that kills me, man. Watching him makes me upset.
Yeah, he's very what's the word?
So he has no spatial awareness whatsoever.
Yeah, he's very uncoordinated. But when he puts it together, it's Aaron Rodgers-esque. Like when he puts it together, it's like right there, right where he wants
Hell
it.
Yeah.
But then the next play is just like seeing ghosts again. Like, so it's just
it's like you moved into that pressure, Sam. What are you doing? Like, give Brock credit. Brock's like a lot like Kyler. The first few steps are quick, and he can get away from pressure. He just can't pull away like Kyler.
I like Brock personally. I like Brock. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's like this elite quarterback.
He reminds me a lot of Kyler, honestly, just without the like fifth gear with his legs and his arm. Like, he's a problem when he gets outside the pocket. Inside the pocket, he's small, and you wonder if he can see the whole field. But once he's outside the pocket, he's a playmaker, and he's in control of the entire game. He just doesn't have that like explosiveness that Kyler has.
100%. Like Brock Purdy is a very good playmaker. He just doesn't have that explosiveness, like you said, and then that zip. Like he doesn't have zip on his passes.
No. But I love the way he can spin out of pressure and roll to his left. As a right-handed thrower, I feel like I don't see Jalen Hurts do that. As good of a quarterback as he is, he's always rolling to his right. Brock has that ability to go either way, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Did Brock play baseball?
I'm sure he did. His dad was a minor league baseball player, so I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he probably played baseball.
He comes across as an infielder, which I think actually helps pitch quarterbacks. The ability to have all those different arm slots.
Even for a short guy, he has like a very strong build. Like he has super big legs. He has huge legs, and he's a pretty sturdy guy other than his elbow injuries. I like Brock Purdy. I'm gonna put him 3. Like I'm gonna put him 3.
I'll put him 3 too. The thing about the Seahawks though is I'm a big Jalen Milroe guy, and I'm interested to see what they can do with him in a couple of years. I like Jalen.
100%. And in a couple of years, when Matthew Stafford moves out of this division, I think if Kyler Murray doesn't take the next step and he's gone, or if he does take the next step and he's here, then it's probably gonna be Jalen Milroe, Kyler Murray, and Brock Purdy fighting for that top spot. I really like.
I just can't wait till Jimmy Garoppolo gets his chance to lead the Rams
to the Super Bowl.
I haven't forgotten about Jimmy Garoppolo. Big fan.
Yeah, 100%.
Always have been.
I was gonna.
All right, let's move on to the next position.
Okay, for sure. See, now this is a difficult position group to rank for a simple fact that is Christian McCaffrey going to be 100% to start off the season?
Well, I think you have to factor in his injury history and age into this ranking. Like, we don't know. But I mean, it's him. They traded Jordan Mason. Garendo has injury history, and you have a rookie. So I don't think that's necessarily the most solid running back group. Like
this is
Kyron Williams right now is like kind of in his prime. I mean, he was among the league leaders in touchdowns and first downs last year.
100%. And then they got Blake Cohn behind him.
Yeah,
Blake Cohn behind him. So it's like. That's a pretty good duo. That is 100% a pretty good duo.
I think Kyron Williams is like a top 5 running back. At least he produces like it. He's so good.
But he'll get injured for like 5 games and then still have 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if you put the Rams at 1 if we're just ranking the top guy.
Yeah.
But the reason why I would lean towards
because the Cardinals go too deep, right? Well, so do the Seahawks.
Yeah. Well, no. We haven't gone too deep yet, but I believe this year we will. And last year we drafted Trey Benson from
Trey Benson.
and he's a really interesting prospect. I look at him as like a faster version of James Conner. And James Conner and Kyron Williams, when you look at their production, they're really like super close, right next to each other. So it's just like, who do you like?
James
in my
Conner's
opinion?
good.
Yeah, 100%. He's underrated. Like, I don't know why people underrate him so much, but obviously 49ers fans know about James Conner.
Talanoa fucking knows about him.
Exactly. 49ers fans know about James Conner, but it just depends. Do you like Blake Corum more as a second running back or Trey Benson as a second running back? And
honestly, you know who I like as a second running back? Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet is a good second running back.
UCLA, baby. And I think Kenneth Walker is good. He hasn't really been able to show it yet, but I feel like if you put him with a good offensive coordinator, it's gonna. But I'm just a truther. I'm a Ken Walker truther.
Yeah. Oh, you went to UCLA? Is that your?
I did. I did. Yeah.
Okay. Zach Charbonnet is good, but like, he's not like. He doesn't have the potential of those guys, in my opinion.
Well, I like him because he's actually a solid receiver. For his size, but yeah, he's not super explosive.
100%.
No, like he had to leave Michigan because Blake Corum was there.
Yeah, he forced him out. I like Zach Charbonnet though. He's a strong runner, big guy. He thrashed the Cardinals last year, so I can't say that he sucks. In terms of depth in the division,
that's the thing about the Cardinals. Cardinals beat the Niners twice last year, but the Seahawks beat the Cardinals twice last year, right?
Did. Yeah, they thrashed us. Bro. So I can't really talk too much trash on the Seahawks, unfortunately.
It's a solid freaking franchise, man.
It is.
They're kind of like the opposite of the Cardinals. They have their shit together.
They do, but I'm hoping that the Cardinals are going to turn it around. I actually believe
they went from a 3-win team to an 8-win team, and one. I mean, like they've been making strides under Jonathan Gannon, right?
Yeah, 100%. We went from 4 wins to 8 wins.
4 wins to 8 wins to 12 wins this year. Clearly,
100%. Hell
yeah.
100%.
All right. So we got Rams first. Cardinals first at running back.
I'm going Cardinals first just because I like the idea of Trey Benson and James Conner more than I like the idea of Kyron Williams and Blake Corum.
I was kind of underwhelmed by Blake Corum in the NFL. I felt like he looked way better in college.
Yeah, he looks less explosive.
But he's a rookie. We'll give him one more year.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard to put the Niners up there with like the question marks with the top 2 guys plus a rookie after that.
If
they have the potential to be number 1.
If Christian McCaffrey
and the potential to be number 4.
Yeah, 100%. If he plays, number 1. If they don't play, if he doesn't play and he's not healthy, then they're last. Like, unbiased. I swear to God, I'm not being biased. I swear on your life, 49ers fans, I'm not being biased.
You're being as biased as Niner fans are about their team. All right. I guess I'm just not super confident about the Christian McCaffrey experience at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to wide receiver.
Okay.
Wide receiver. So Cardinals got Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
They got Michael.
And
I think the Niners think he's good.
He is good. He just hasn't been able to show it. I'm going to be as least biased as possible here. And then they have Greg Dortch.
Zay Jones?
Greg Dortch.
Greg Dortch.
And Zay Jones. Greg Dortch is like
quick.
Yeah, he's like a gadget guy. Very fast. You pass the ball, he'll get like 50 yards, off of that.
I feel like it's a solid group. I mean, with Kyler, he's not going to throw over the middle that much anyway, but like there are 2 guys on the outside that could take you deep.
It's very boom or bust group. Like depending on what Marvin Harrison does, like the thing about the Cardinals is they're very like their team is very based on potential. Like it's not like you have to see it. Like Marvin Harrison, he had 800 yards last year. He had 8 TDs. Michael Wilson is a guy who coming out and what he's been able to show when he actually gets targets, he's able to catch anything that comes towards him. Greg Dortch is potentially one of the shiftiest guys in the NFL. Zay Jones missed the entirety of last year. But in terms of ranking them, what the rest of the
one is the Rams again. Puka Nacua is like 23.
100%. Puka Nacua,
plus they got Devontae Adams. Yep,
like
that's one.
That has a chance to be the best like duo in the NFL.
Cardinals could be too if Marvin Harrison Jr. takes a step because 100%. Cooper Kupp and
JSN
is like
not enough size there. I don't think like to actually
and until Ayuk comes back or Ricky Pearsall like establishes himself, it's hard to say the Niners Are better than the Cardinals at wide receiver.
I wouldn't say that they are. That's why I don't get it. Like I don't get it. Like I don't get it. I would put the Cardinals and the Seahawks at 2A, 2B, just for the simple fact that JSN has shown it, and Marvin Harrison is Marvin Harrison Jr. Like he was drafted number 4 for a reason. Like there was a reason.
Yeah, who would you rather have, JSN or Juwan?
As a Cardinals fan?
Yeah, who's a better player?
I mean, JSN is better.
Yeah, 100%. He's more explosive.
Yeah, he's better, 100%. Juwan Jennings, I like Juwan Jennings, but it's like I
think
what we've seen from Juwan, that's what he is. Like he's not better than that. He's not worse than that. Like we've seen,
he'd be a great number 2 to Brandon Ayuk if Brandon Ayuk could be the number 1 again. But I don't 100%. Know. I wouldn't expect him to be that guy in 2025, maybe in 2026.
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't get it. Like I don't see Brandon Ayuk coming back and being like this explosive, dynamic playmaker, especially a year off of coming from the ACL tear. Like maybe he has a Adrian Peterson year and he comes back mid-October and he goes for 700 yards through 7 weeks, 100 yards a game. But I don't see that happening.
He might buy another Lambeau, though. I hope he does. I'm rooting for him. Okay, let's go tight end.
Okay. I'll give it to George Kittle, all-pro George Kittle, just for the simple fact that he got into the end zone more.
So he did. Trey McBride's got to get in the end zone, but maybe Kyler's got to look at him.
But for 2025, it's probably Trey McBride. If we're ranking it,
yeah, but you're not counting Luke Farrell and Ross Dwelly. It's a whole group.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The thing about Kittle that I'm a little worried about is injuries. You're going to be 32. You just got a bunch of guaranteed money. Like, are you going to play 15, 16 games this year? Or what's up?
That's the thing throughout their entire roster. Like, their entire roster is just very injury riddled. Like, guys that are injured, guys that are old, guys that are unproven. Like, that's the entire 49ers roster.
Yeah. But still, it's like this would be 1A, 1B in terms of the Niners and Cardinals at tight 100%. end. And then the Seahawks and Rams have like rookies and nobodies. Yeah.
Tyler Higbee,
Noah Fant, rookies. Noah Fant.
Yeah, and then it's you could put them at 3 and 4. It won't matter because like their tight ends are not really that good, to be honest.
Yeah, but moving forward, I mean Trey McBride's like a full 6 years younger than George Kittle,
and
what does Trey McBride do best? Because Niner fans don't know shit about the Cardinals.
He's a great yak guy, but he's also like somebody you could just throw it up to, contested catch.
Okay.
Like I expect him to get a lot more targets in the red zone this season because he can go on top of a guy's head and just pluck the ball 50-50, especially if it's on the linebacker or smaller safety. Like he'll bully guys. Yak ability, like young George Kittle, he'll jump over guys. He's stiff arming guys. He's good in the run game. Like there's nothing that he's not good at. Like he's honestly like looking to be like one of the next great tight ends in the NFL.
He's one of your better draft picks in the last few years.
Yeah, he is. And that's the Steve Cohn draft pick.
Was he a basketball player? What's his story? Where did he go to school? Colorado State, second round pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Colorado State. I think he played basketball in in high school, but
okay.
Yeah, he was just in Colorado State, a guy that was I think he was in that same draft as Sam Laporta. He didn't play his first year because we had Travis Kelce, but that was a guy that I really liked coming out in the draft. I said Travis Kelce, I meant Zach Ertz.
I was like, who? Zach Ertz, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Zach Ertz. Yeah.
All right, let's go O-line.
Like I said, the 49ers.
Here, I'll read them out first. Here we go. On Seahawks, this is what the Seahawks got on the offensive line. Charles Cross, Gray Zabel, Olu Oluwatimi, Christian Haynes, Abraham Lucas from left to right. Then Rams. I'll just read them real quick. Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Coleman Shelton, Kevin Dotson, and Rob Havenstein. Cardinals got Paris Johnson, Evan Brown, a center whose name I can't even begin to pronounce. Can you?
Yellow Froholt.
There it is. Isaiah Adams at right guard and Jonah Williams at right tackle. And then the Niners, of course, have Trent Williams, Ben Barch, Jake Brendel, Dominic Pooney, Colton McKivitz. That's what we're talking about.
This is about group, right? So the thing about O-line is like, all right, 3 things that factor into O-line. Depth is very, very, very important for offensive line.
True.
The other thing is the coach. So I'm not sure who the 49ers coach is.
Chris Forrester.
And then I would say
Forrester.
Youth is pretty important.
Mm-hmm. That's true. The Niners, I mean, they have Pooney and Burford, who are kind of young, and that's about it.
I really like Pooney. From what I've seen personally, like, I'm not gonna act like some offensive line connoisseur. And the stats that I've checked out, the best offensive line in the division last season, and that has remained mostly the same, and has a young core, and has an up and coming offensive O line coach, is the Cardinals. You know, you got Paris Johnson, who we drafted with the sixth pick in the 2023 draft. Jonah Williams, he was a top 10 pick. He didn't play for majority of the year last year. Kelvin Beachum stepped in, and we still ended up with a top 10 offensive line. According to the statistics, we have one of the best centers in the league that 49ers fans do not know about. But if you go and check out Yelda Froho,
I can't even pronounce his name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't know this, though, because they don't know about the Arizona Cardinals. And, you know, our guard position, it can be better, but those guys are lifted up just by the simple fact that they're surrounded by Yelda Froho. But I wouldn't be mad if you were to give it to the Rams, just for the simple fact that they have Bo Limmer, like you said, Hardenstein. Like, they got guys. They got guys there that are.
Larry Jackson's good. Steve Avila's good.
And Steve Avila, I like those guys. I like those guys. I'm not gonna put the Niners last here, but they can very well once again end up being last in the division if Trent Williams gets hurt. Because if Trent Williams gets hurt, who's behind him?
That's what when he's out, they have the worst offensive line in the division. The Seahawks have had the worst offensive line in the division for like 10 years in a row, but they did draft Gray Zabel in round 1 this year, and that's a much bigger investment than the Niners made.
The Seahawks are sneaky though, because last year they drafted Christian Haynes. That was the guard from UConn. Right. I really liked him as a prospect. And then Michigan, they drafted
Olutimi. That's true. So that's 2 starters. They got Charles Cross is a good left tackle when healthy.
They've been investing, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I would not be surprised.
They've had injuries, really. Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross have missed hella games.
Yeah, they are very.
And Gray Zabel's going to be a good guard. He's going to be a really good left guard.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we were looking back at the end of the season and we were like, okay, the Seahawks have the best offensive line in the division. But just for me, like, they have to prove it just because they've been bad for so long.
Yeah. So, no, the Niners definitely could have the worst offensive line in the division. I mean, it's not good. I mean, they have Andre Dillard as their Jalen Moore replacement. That's kind of scary. Let's go defense. Defensive line, these are the starting units, starting with the Niners, of course. You got Bosa, Michael Williams, and then at defensive tackle, they could go Jordan Elliott, Kevin Givens, or CJ West, Alfred Collins. Then the Cardinals, you got Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson as your 3 down guys, and then your outside linebackers.
Walter
you got
Nolan. Can't forget about
Walter Nolan instead of Darius Robinson.
They're probably all playing. Like,
that's true. Yeah. And then you also got Josh Sweat and Baron Browning, Zaven Collins, BJ Ojolari.
It's stacked.
Pretty deep. It's pretty deep. The Rams have a very good defensive line. Braden Fiskey, Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, and then the edge rushers are Byron Young and Jared Verse. And then the Seahawks have Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, and DeMarcus Lawrence and Uchenna Nwosu. Some pretty good D lines, man.
Yeah, that's probably the strength of the NFC West, their D lines. Yeah. But it is a weakness for the 49ers.
It kind of is until further notice.
It's a weakness for the 49ers. Like, legitimately, it is. In terms of ranking this one, like, it's the Rams. Like, the Rams have Kobe Turner, a guy drafted in the 6th round. Absolutely should have probably won Rookie of the Year that year that he was drafted. Jared Verse won Rookie of the Year. Runner-up was Braden Fisk. They just drafted somebody I like in Josiah Stewart. Their depth is good. The Rams always draft everybody that I like. Like, I hate the Rams.
Yeah.
Like,
they got Poona Ford too.
Yeah,
Poona Ford. Yeah,
sneaky good run defender. Like,
sneaky good.
They're one until further notice.
I agree.
Until further notice, for sure.
Because they had a great pass rush last year, but they needed Poona Ford. Now they got him.
Yeah, now they got somebody to actually stuff that run.
Yeah. So they're 1, 2. You're gonna say
I'm going to give it to the Seahawks for now.
Really?
I'm going to give it to Seahawks.
Leonard Williams is a damn good player.
Am I? Because
I feel like I would almost go with the Cardinals right here. I don't know. Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson and Walter Nolan and Josh Sweat.
No, you're right. You're right. The Seahawks, in terms of the top end talent, like Leonard Williams could easily be like, all right, but we haven't seen, like, we don't know if that was just like Leonard Williams being a flash in the pan, popping up for one season, and then, is he going to be the same guy next year? In terms of depth, this is probably like no bias. Once again, I know I keep saying this.
Zero bias.
Yeah. This is probably one of the deepest defensive line groups in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
In the entire NFL, like,
because it's got youth and it's got a bunch of outside free agents.
Yeah, it's got veterans. It's got Josh Sweat, Baron Browning, Zaven Collins. Like, these guys are probably not gonna pop, and BJ Ojolari. These guys are probably not gonna pop off for 10, 15 sacks in a year. But if every one of these guys could at least get 4 sacks, we're talking about a team that could go from having 40 sacks in a season to 60 sacks.
And that's sort of what Jonathan Gannon had his last year.
Eagles did. Exactly. Yep. That's what the
Eagles
did.
And it was a deep D line.
Exactly.
5-man front.
It's not always about that top end talent, but yeah, you made me switch my mind. Hey, I'm not biased. Grant made me change my mind.
I would go with the Cardinals, and I think they're deeper than the Seahawks, and I would go with the Niners. Last again, although they made a bunch of investments in the D line in particular. By the end of the season, it could absolutely be better than Seattle's.
They could, but I don't see it. Like,
I mean, Chenna Nwosu's been in and out with injuries.
No, you're right. He had that one flash in the pan season where he dropped like 9 or 10 sacks. But it's just like, okay, even without Chenna Nwosu, they have Boye Mafe, and Boye Mafe is pretty good, and I think he's just getting better. And they just added they have Leonard Williams. They just added DeMarcus Lawrence. So it's just like, the 49ers D-line, other than Nick Bosa, nobody's really like, even in terms of a prospect, like Michael Williams, I'm sorry, he doesn't move me in terms of a pass rusher. Like, I know he's really good against the run, but in terms of pass rush, getting after the quarterback, forcing the ball out of the quarterback's hands fastly, he's not somebody that actually scares me. Like, he's not somebody currently, maybe in a year or 2 and 3 years, he develops and he becomes a guy that's really dominant. But right now, his rookie year, I just don't see him developing that fast to be somebody.
Yeah, he's a 20-year-old talking about he needs to develop a pass rush plan. Like, that tells you pretty much what you need to know.
Exactly, yeah.
He's all right, linebacker.
49ers.
And I'll go again. For the people who don't know, I'll list them out. The Niners, you got Fred Warner, Nick Martin, D. Winters. Those are your 3. For the Cardinals, they got Mac Wilson Sr. and Akeem Davis Gaither. 2 guys I've definitely heard of, absolutely have heard of. And then for the Rams, they got Troy Reader somehow still. I don't know how that guy is still on that freaking team. And Omar Spates, who was an undrafted free agent, I believe, or a later pick who did well for them. They also drafted Chris Paul Jr. And then you got the Seahawks, who have Ernest Jones IV and Tyrese Knight. Ernest Jones is nice.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah. In terms of the core, like 1, 2, it's the Seahawks. But in terms, I feel like Fred Warner is just like so good that he puts the 49ers in first place. Like,
I think so.
By himself. Like, by himself, he elevates the 49ers to first place.
Yeah, he's the one Hall of Famer in the division at this position.
Exactly. So it's like he takes them and he elevates them. But once again, it's very, very, like, Fred Warner got injured for the first time in his career last year. So it's like, it's a really thin position group, and I
like. Winters has a lot to prove.
Yeah,
Nick Martin has a lot to prove. Yeah,
but I just don't. I like it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, like, I will go Niners 1 for now. Seahawks 2. I can't honestly rank the Cardinals because I've heard of neither one of their inside linebackers.
Yeah,
never heard of them.
I'll tell you about Mike Wilson. Mike Wilson is a guy that was. He wasn't behind Kaiser White, but he was kind of like our Sam linebacker last year, so he would blitz a lot. I think this year he's going to assume more of a Mike linebacker role, and I honestly think he was pretty good for us. Like, if you go and watch the film, like, he's coming downfield, he's laying the hammer down on dudes, and Akeem Davis Gaither is a guy from the Bengals who I watched a little bit of film on. He's pretty good in coverage. I think it'll be a battle between him and the fourth rounder that we drafted from Ohio State, Cody Simon, to come in and pick, fight for that starting spot. But to be honest, I wouldn't be mad if you ranked the Cardinals fourth here. But actually, I would be mad because the Rams linebacker sucked last year.
Troy Reader, my goodness, man.
Yeah,
he's been on that team for a long time. He's terrible.
Yeah, the Rams linebacker sucked last year, and I think put a little bit of respect on Mack Wilson's name just by himself. Yeah.
All right, let's go cornerback for the Niners. We know we got Ronaldo Green, Deommodore Lenoir, and assuming Upton Stout. For the Cardinals, it's Will Johnson, the rookie, Max Melton, and Garrett Williams. For the Rams, do they still have Akello Witherspoon? Yes, they do. Akello Witherspoon and Darius Williams with Quentin Lake at nickel. And then for the Seahawks, it's Reek Woolen, Josh Joby, and Devin Witherspoon, one of the better nickels in the league. How would you rank this one?
Oh my God. I'm trying to shake all the bias out of my body. Holy. But I can't. The reason why I can't, right, is because I don't know why this happened when the Cardinals decided to draft Will Johnson. Like every single person along the division just decided that he wasn't a top 15, top 10 talent in the draft anymore. Like, no, he's just Will Johnson. Like the thing about, all right, I know what people are already going to say. Like his knee injury. His knee is completely fine currently. Like his knee is fine. He's going to play.
It's a longevity thing, right?
Yeah, it's a longevity thing. It's not about right now. It's just like a Todd Gurley situation. So, so his knee in 3-4 years throughout his rookie contract can be messed up. But when he's going to come out currently, he's going to be playing at a high level. Like we've seen Will Johnson. Like watch the tape on Will Johnson. I don't know what some people are talking about. He doesn't get beat rarely. He's very good. Actually beat him.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's really good and he's underrated. And then we got Garrett Williams. People don't know about Garrett Williams.
I don't know about Garrett Williams.
You have to look it up if you have the chance right now. PFF, 8th ranked cornerback in the league. 8th ranked quarterback in the league. One of the best slot corners in the league. He's better than Lenoir. I know you guys think Lenoir is good, but he's better. Okay. He is he's better. He's one of the best corners in the league. You pass towards him, people are not catching the ball on him. And then Max Melton is one of those guys that also went up against Marvin Harrison Jr. in college and locked him up. He was somebody that I really like coming out in the draft. He had his ups and downs last year, but this is a year where I think he takes a step up. And then we also have depth behind that. So it's not just a front-loaded group where it's like boom, boom, boom. But like we have Keitrell Clark behind him. We have Denzel Burke, who would have been a first-round draft pick in last year's draft. We have I think he's going to get – we got Starling Thomas, who's been starting for us for a couple years. So it's not just like a front-loaded group. Like, I would have put Seahawks 1, but I feel like they're very front-loaded. Like, I really liked Tariq Woolen when he showed his first year. He's definitely took a step back in terms of production. And then Devon Witherspoon, definitely one of the best, if not the best nickel in the league behind Garrett Williams. But, yeah, bro, so – I would put the Cardinals 1, Seahawks 2, and then I would put the Niners 3. I would put the Niners 3 because I don't really like Akello Witherspoon that much, and I think the Rams cornerback room is actually trash. But I like Lenoir. And I actually like what Ronaldo Green can be in terms of a cornerback. Like I think he's sticky man to man. And you guys actually have something there in terms of a 1-2 punch with Lenoir and Ronaldo Green. I just like the potential of Will Johnson, Garrett Williams, and Max Melton better.
It's fair. That's fair. I'm going to put the Seahawks ahead of the Cardinals just because that's a bit of a projection for Will Johnson, but I see the vision. Yeah. Let's finish it up with safety. The Niners, maybe weakest position. They're going to go with Jair Brown and Jason Pinnock until Malik Mustafa comes back. They also have Richie Grant and Marquise Siegel. The Cardinals have Buda freaking Baker and Jalen Thompson. Pretty good tandem. The Rams have Cam Curl and Cameron Kinchins, 2 good safeties. And the Seahawks have Julian Love and Kobe Bryant, 2 good safeties. How would you rank these? Yeah.
Obviously, Buda Baker and Jalen Thompson's first. Probably a top 5 safety duo in the league. I don't have to talk too much about Budda Baker. Flies to the ball every single play. Jalen
The
Thompson.
Niners just gush about him every time they face the Cardinals.
100%.
It's such an honor to play Budda Baker. Yeah.
I think our third safety, Rabbit Taylor Demerson, you guys will probably learn more about him this year, would actually be your best safety.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would be the best safety on the Niners roster. So the depth is also there.
Another player I've never heard of. This is why I love the Arizona Cardinals. They're barely an NFL team. Love it.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We need to raise Cardinals awareness because they're a real team.
We are a real team.
They exist.
Show respect and love. I don't know why I decided to become a fan of the Cardinals.
Because you're trailblazer.
Number 2, I like Cameron Kitchens. Like, especially coming out of Miami last year. I watch Miami because they're on the TV. I live in Florida. I live in Miami, so when they are on the TV, I'll watch them, and I really like what I've seen from Cameron Kitchens. I like Cam Curl. I like Julian Love in terms of the safety. I don't know what to expect from Kobe Bryant yet because I think he just made that switch from corner to safety. So if he's good and he's like some super ball hawking safety, then he can definitely be the best. And then the 49ers are just completely unproven, and like the guy that they did have that did play, he wasn't all that good. Like
if they had Malik Mustafa and Talanoa Hufanga, that'd be a serious safety team.
That'd be second best in the division.
I still think the Niners made a mistake letting Hufanga go. He's 25 years old, and he played really well as like a 22-year-old on a number 1 defense, and he's not that expensive. But they have Jason Pinnock, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. That's unfortunate for 49ers fans, but
So we weren't keeping score, and I don't quite remember because I have a little bit of a migraine headache, and that's neither here nor there. But I think the Niners, we gave them the top billing in how many – tight end, linebacker.
Tight end, linebacker. That's it.
That's kind of fair.
Yeah.
It's kind of fair.
I don't think that's how, like, anybody else in the 49ers manosphere, if we were to call it that, sees it except for probably you. But, like, looking at it as objectively as possible. I feel like I'm looking at it really objectively. Like no bias, once again. Like, the 49ers, like, and stacking up with the division. I know most people don't know what's going on in the division, but they're just not all that good anymore. It's not the 2023 Niners. It's not the 2022.
Right. And I think when people make their projections for 2025, maybe they look at the rosters on paper and base most of their opinion on that, but I don't think they do. I think most of it is based on your memories watching the team. And I don't think people really think about the Niners as being that 6-11 team. I think they think of them as being one of the more consistent, dominant teams, and that they're going to obviously bounce back, because they still have Christian McCaffrey.
100%. I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it anymore. I feel like
you never see the wheels falling off until they fall off.
They lost that life. Like, when I used to watch the 49ers, it was like, damn, like, we're playing against the 49ers. They're probably going to beat our ass today. But not really, though. Not really.
The Eagles used to have that kind of attitude when they faced the Niners.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, like, they got Christian McCaffrey. Holy shit. Nick Bosa, he's rolling right now. Like, but I don't see, like, they don't have that life in them. Like, that life is transferred to the other teams in the division. I feel like that life is now transferred to the Rams. It's transferred to the Cardinals. And the 49ers are just like that guy that's, like, living on his high school hoop dreams. Like, bro, you should have seen me in high school, bro.
Check out my 2023 highlights, man. I was killing it.
Exactly. Like, bro, I played.
You should have won. You should have won.
I played against John Moran in high school. I was the coldest. Had the meanest crossover. Like, bro, like, come on. This is, you work a 9 to 5 at Amazon now.
Jared Owens says Cam Moore to the Niners. Great to be back. Yeah, from your lips to God's ears. Ricky Williams says, so Brock wouldn't win a Super Bowl with the Eagles roster. Let's be honest. Who's a better game manager, Sirianni or Shanahan? We should have 2 if the so-called elite showed up. Hurts didn't win that game. Don't get lost. I guess technically any quarterback could have won that game for the Eagles, considering their defense gave up like 20 yards. Yeah. But Hurts did play really well objectively. He did.
Yeah. I think,
but they probably would have won that game with their backup quarterback.
Yeah. What people underrate about Hurts is, like, his arm talent isn't, like, super undeniable, but he has a stronger arm than Brock Purdy. Like he'll get it there. Like he can put it up and get it there, and it'll fall in the basket, and they won't have to like come back to the ball. That's a lot. That's something that I see a lot when it comes to Brock Purdy. A lot of his receivers downfield, they have to come back to the ball instead of, you know what I'm saying, running underneath it. So especially
I also feel like Hurts takes far fewer risks than Purdy as a passer. Like Hurts 100%. Throws are essentially safe and will throw the ball away, whereas Purdy's, you know, anticipating and layering and doing really tough things, which lead to interceptions.
Because he feels like he has to. He wants to
feels like he has to.
He wants to be like that guy. Like I just saw something on Twitter. Like, I'm a top 10 quarterback. Like, why are you worried about that, bro? Just go and do what you got to do.
Stop talking 100%. About the narrative. Yeah,
100%.
Ricky Williams, his first Cardinal fan I've seen in my life. They exist. Have you been to a Cardinals fan support group, like a Cardinals fan cookout?
No, I haven't. I went to
man, that could be really popping, man. It'd be fun.
But it'd just be me and my cat.
My ball, Zach. Ooh, almost said it. It says, nice to have Micah Parsons on the show. Corey Coleman says, Cards are fine, but their biggest problem is Kyler. He can't stay healthy, and he always comes up short when the team needed him. Pun intended, LOL. I do think this is a make or break year for Kyler. It's going to be interesting to see what he has.
It's a make or break season for him. Our biggest problem seems like Kyler. Last year, a lot of something that people don't talk about, like our offensive coordinator was very, like, his passing game was very bland. Like, but I also think he's going to develop because he's a young offensive coordinator. I think he takes a step this year. Mostly a projection, but, you know, Kyler, the thing about Kyler is, right, what I don't think people most, like, they look at when they look at the Cardinals is, like, when the Cardinals win games or have won games against good teams in the past, like, 2-3 years, it's because Kyler will come out and he'll have this jaw-dropping,
like when he destroyed the Rams early in the season, right?
Exactly. Like, Brock Purdy he didn't have to do that to win.
5 touchdowns from Kyler Murray. Like, what the fuck? Where the hell was that?
Like he didn't have to do that to win. Like, if we get like 5 of those Kyler Murray games scrambled throughout the season, and then we just get Brock Purdy games throughout the rest of the year, and our defense is good enough to keep us in games, then that narrative goes away. That narrative is only there because he has to carry us to wins. Like, it's not like Brock Purdy. Like, you've seen what happened last year when Brock Purdy has to carry your teams to wins.
Like, where would you rank Brock Purdy on the Niners in terms of best player? Like, is he a top 5 player on the Niners?
Okay, so I'm putting Kittle above him. I'm putting Fred Warner above him. Putting Nick Bosa above him.
So that's 3.
It's probably – I'm putting Lenore above him. I'm putting him at 6.
Okay, 6.
Yeah.
Kyler, is he a top 3 player on the Cardinals?
100%.
Yeah. Is Stafford a top 3 player on the Rams?
100%.
Yeah. So that's why I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand paying all this money for a guy who isn't even top 5 on your own team. It just seems like that guy's replaceable. And I like Brock, good guy, but $53 million? It's not my money though. It's backloaded, whatever. It's not my money at all. But damn, dude. It's a business. All right, let's make some picks. Let's play the more or less game sponsored by Prize Picks. And we'll start with Kyler. These are his 4 plays for the season. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. Which one do you like more or less?
Take a look. Passing TD is like easy over.
Easy over, 20.5.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, I like that. Let's go Brock.
What's his rushing yards at?
Hold on, let's see. I think it was about 500. 499.
He said he's running more this season, so go over.
He did say that.
Yeah, go over there too.
Well, remember, it's the more or less game, and if you use the O or U word, you automatically lose. But you didn't know that. It's okay.
Okay.
We can only do one player. You can't do a player twice. That's another rule about the more or less game. So you got to pick one, Kyler.
Take the pass TDs off and go rushing because I'm pretty confident that he's gonna.
All right, that's a good call. Let's do Brock now.
Okay.
It's going to be not Brock Bowers, just passing. 24.5 passing TDs and 3,824 and a half passing yards.
Go underneath that passing yards for sure.
If you say the U word again.
Oh, damn. What is it? More or less?
More or less. The more or less game.
Go less on Brock.
On passing yards?
Yeah.
Cool. Less. Why do you think less on the passing yards?
That's TDs.
They do that to me sometimes. It's all right. Hold on.
I just feel like that's a lot, man. 3,800 yards? with the core that you guys are dealing with, like I know Kittle could easily go for, you know, if he has a good season, like 1,100 yards. But who else on that core is really like gonna hit 1,000 yards receiving? If Christian McCaffrey plays, he can probably get 1,000, but that's if he's
It's a good
100.
point. It's a good point.
Juwan Jennings, he can hit 1,000, but
yeah, but he'd have to get about 120 targets.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think they're gonna respect him that much. So I just don't see that in terms of
Okay, Darnold, 20.5 passing touchdowns, just like Kyler, more or less.
I'm going over
4 yards. More?
Shit. Oh, damn it. I'm going more.
Your face was hilarious. All right, last one, Stafford. More or less, 23.5. More or less.
That's hard, bro. That's hard.
I think he's gonna have a huge freaking year, man. I don't know if he stays healthy.
No, it's not. No, it's
With
not.
Adams,
got Devontae and Puka.
When he has 2 receivers, he's tough to.
Yeah, give me
more
because he wasn't that great last year, but I think he's probably gonna.
Did I get the right thing? Yes. Flex it, submit it.
I like that.
Cool. I like that lineup too. Download the app, use promo code Cohn, play 5, get $50 instantly. All right. Before we go, as a Cardinals fan who watches the 49ers and wishes them the best in a way that doesn't affect the Cardinals, what would you suggest the Niners should do next? If you were running the 49ers, what would you do to get them back in contention or to put their best foot forward in 2025?
So I know the 49ers are going with the youth movement along the defensive line.
Yes.
But what I would do personally, if I was the GM, John Lynch, for the 49ers, I would go and actually add like one of these edge rushers in free agency. Me personally, I'm looking at Jadeveon Clowney. He's somebody that could possibly come in and get 9 sacks for you in a season, and he's not as much as a headache that he used to be in the past. He can help Mykel Williams actually develop because he's actually still good in the run game. He can show him how to develop a pass rush plan, and like Jadeveon Clowney and Nick Bosa side by side, that sounds way better to me than Jadeveon Clowney and Mykel Williams. Like I like the idea of Mykel Williams, sprinkled in here and there, and then Jadeveon Clowney coming in and doing what he has to do. So I would do that, and then in terms of wide receiver, I would have to address that position definitely. And I'm looking at guys like Amari Cooper because you guys don't have anybody that really creates separation with their route running.
Yeah.
Even though Amari Cooper is old, he's still one of the best route runners in the NFL. So if you can get him on your team, and that takes the stress off of Brock Purdy. That takes the stress off of Brock Purdy. You can lay it in there, and maybe he goes over. Maybe he goes with more.
I feel you on this because to me, one, they have the 3rd most cap space in the league. Surprisingly, they can make a move. I mean, it's not like Brock Purdy's contract is crippling their cap space this year or next year or the year after that. And also, like from a Cardinals fan's perspective, you guys are trying to go with the youth movement. You have all kind of new rookies, but you also sign players, and it seems like there's a 2-pronged approach. And that to me indicates that the Cardinals are both building for the future and the present. Where the Niners, it seems like they're building for the future, and they're trying to get Mykel Williams and all these rookies as many reps as possible, so they're as advanced as possible in 2026, which is fine. But what about 2025? Sorry.
100%. But it's like that also doesn't, like, playing helps a lot, but like looking at somebody and like those mental reps of watching like a guy that's better than you play the game can actually help out a lot. Like Amari Cooper would help Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
Like Jadeveon Clowney, like I said, he would help Mykel Williams. Like Nick Bosa could.
And that's the whole thought process of having Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell. Like
100%.
Calais Campbell's going to help Walter Nolan.
100%. Like that's like you have the money. These guys are not going to be like super expensive. Like you could sign them to 1 year, 2-year deals. They're not going to be super expensive. These are 2 guys that I would add. And then another guy I would probably add is a linebacker. This is probably like somebody you would add on like a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal, front loaded. Eric Kendricks. If you really are serious and you want your linebacker core to be actually scary next year, you know what I'm saying? Other than Fred Warner, Eric Kendricks. He played with the Cowboys last year. He had 138 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. They
tried to sign him before they got Devondre Campbell. Almost got the right guy.
Yeah, go back, dip your finger in that well again. You know what I'm saying? get Eric Kendricks. I think that could be something to help you elevate and actually be good this year.
I just don't understand why I understand why the Niners let so many players leave in free agency, but I don't understand why they didn't sign anyone. And they made it seem like, well, we got to save cap space for Brock and Fred and Kittle. Well, those guys are done, and they have the third most cap space in the league, more than $30 million. Like, what are you saving that for? What am I missing? I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him make a move.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all, to be honest.
But you know what? They don't need more talent because you know what? They're drama free.
Sometimes you got to invite the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eagles invited the drama last year, you know, and they still executed. It's not always about being 100% drama free. It's about trying to be the best team that you can possibly be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes drama is synonymous for like competition. And sometimes if you get rid of drama, that you're just kind of like taking
100%.
Away the intrigue and the competition.
100%. That's something that the 49ers lack right now. They need more competition at a lot of positions. And
I feel like a big reason they were so bad last year is they didn't have enough competition on defense. They just were like, Devondre's our starter. That's the way it is. Like, why? And your defense sucks, and he sucks.
Yeah, that's something I see from the 49ers a lot. Like, they'll just have these guys slot into these positions, and, like, let's say a guy pops off for one game like Juwan Jennings did, they'll just slot him back in. And, like, if Brandon Ayuk comes back, and let's say Juwan Jennings is on pace to have 1,200 yards. Brandon Ayuk comes back, he's a wide receiver one now. Forget about Juwan Jennings. It's too much of a, like, it doesn't matter what you do on the field. It just matters how much you're getting paid. Yes.
And it's been that way since Kyle Shanahan's been there. And I think that's a bit of a problem. It's supposed to be a meritocracy, and you're supposed to reward anyone who steps up. And the Niners have had so many examples of late round draft picks and undrafted free agents assert themselves, but it feels like Jordan Mason had such a hard time staying on the field, even though he was averaging 5.5 yards a carry. It's like, what does he have to do? What do some of these guys have to do? Juwan too. It took him 5 years to get the respect.
Yeah, like you guys definitely should have re-signed Jordan Mason. Like I don't understand that at all. Like I don't understand.
Was so generous to give him to the Vikings. I mean, they really appreciate that.
I don't understand that at all. That was probably the worst move that you guys did not make in the offseason.
I mean, that's a guy I think like teams don't want to see. Like he's tough.
Like, yeah, he fumbled the ball, but it's like, just let him play. Let him play. Like, the guy doesn't touch the field. Let him touch the field.
How many guys really run harder than him? Like, him and James Conner might be the two hardest runners in the league.
Yeah, bro. The guy was averaging like 5 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey gets back, and you just immediately start. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't understand the 49ers. I don't understand the 49ers. You just
aren't smart enough to understand Kyle Shanahan's genius. Cardinals fans don't get it. Sorry. But you understand. Even when they win 6 games, there's a genius behind it that's easy to appreciate.
That's where it's just like, I can't look at them and not see them taking a step back again, especially with how they approach the offseason. Now, if they make some of these moves in the next coming months or something, I can see them trying to be a little bit better. But it's like, for right now, it's just like, 49ers don't scare me. Like, they're looking like, in my opinion, the worst team in the division. Like, yeah,
they seem like a team that's in major transition. Frisco Shield says Grant Purdy had 3,800 plus in 2024. That's true. Yeah. I'm just curious to see how many games he plays this year. I mean, the offensive line got worse, and he holds the ball a long time, or he did last year.
Yeah, he can go for 3,800 again, but George Kittle had an All-Pro year again. Like he might regress. Or miss game. He had Juwan Jennings went for like nearly 900 yards. I'm not sure who else was their receiving threat. So
that Debo.
Oh yeah, Debo Samuel.
Yeah, remember him?
Yeah, but like, bro, nobody's taking Debo Samuel seriously. No. Like
the Commanders apparently, but
I think Jordan Watkins might actually be Debo Samuel. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think that's what they drafted him.
Yeah, I think that might actually work for them.
Could. Yeah. All right. Well, look. You watched it here first. Cardinals winning the division, 13 wins. Level 7. I appreciate you. Seriously, you had great analysis on every team in the NFC West. This was a lot of fun. We'll do it again.
For sure, 100%. All right.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.